Warriors don't just fight battles, they wage war, and few do it with the fury of a Viking. But even in that fierce company, some stand out. So today we'll meet two of the fiercest warriors in history, a long-lasting duel between two Viking berserkers. The first was Ragnar Lodbrok, the legendary Viking warrior who lived in the 800s AD. He is said to have led his band of elite warriors known as the Varangian Guard to victories across Europe, pillaging on monasteries and towns along the way. Ragnar was a giant of a man, over 6 feet tall, with flowing red hair and a taste for mead and battle. According to legend, he fought like a demon possessed, his eyes flashing fire as he cut down his enemies. His ferocity earned him both fame and fear, and his exploits became the stuff of Viking legend. The tales tell of how he single-handedly defeated an entire English army, how he swam from Sweden to Hedeby, and how he led his men on a massive raid of the Frankish Empire. But Ragnar wasn't just a mindless berserker. He was a cunning strategist as well. In one famous story, he pretended to be a Christian monk to infiltrate a heavily guarded monastery. And in another, he tricked the Danish king into giving him a fleet of ships by promising to help him collect a debt. Ragnar was also a poet and a storyteller, and he was said to have composed many of the sagas that tell of his deeds. These stories were passed down through generations of Vikings, and they continue to inspire awe and wonder today. But the legends of Ragnar Lodbrok are more than just epic tales of battle and daring adventure. They also offer a glimpse into the Viking way of life, their beliefs, their values, and their relationship with the world around them. Ragnar wasn't just a warrior. He was a leader, a strategist, a poet, and a man of deep faith in his own religion. And his story continues to capture the imagination of people all over the world. But Ragnar wasn't the only legendary Viking warrior. Another name echoed through the halls of Valhalla, the home of slain warriors in Norse mythology. It was Ivar the Boneless. Now, despite his rather unflattering nickname, Ivar was anything but weak. He was the son of the legendary Viking leader Ragnar Lothbrok, and he inherited his father's taste for battle and conquest. According to the sagas, Ivar was a brilliant military strategist and a fierce fighter. When he led the great heathen army in a devastating raid on Northumbria in the 860s, his warriors swept through the English countryside, pillaging on monasteries and towns. They inflicted heavy casualties on the English forces and even managed to capture the Northumbrian king and his sons. Ivar's reputation as a ruthless warrior grew, and he became known as one of the most fearsome leaders of the Viking Age. Ivar's legacy wasn't just built on brute force, though. He was also a shrewd politician and a master of propaganda. When the English king refused to pay the ransom for the captured kings, Ivar declared war on Northumbria and began to besiege the city of York. To break the siege, the English king offered to exchange the Northumbrian king for Ivar's own brother. But when Ivar accepted the offer, he had the English king put to death and took both the Northumbrian king and his sons with him back to Scandinavia. Ivar's duplicity and ruthlessness made him a legendary figure in Viking lore, and his exploits continued to be celebrated in sagas and poems for centuries to come. Now, these two legendary warriors never actually met in battle, but if they had, it would have been a sight to behold. On one side, you had Ragnar Lodbrok, the ferocious giant with a taste for blood and glory. And on the other, Ivar the Boneless, the brilliant strategist and master of deception. Who would win in a battle between these two titans? It's hard to say. Both were legendary warriors with a taste for battle and conquest. But one thing is for sure, the clash of their swords would have been heard echoing through the halls of Valhalla for all eternity. Well, that's a look at two legendary Viking warriors. If you enjoyed this video, check out more content where we bring you the most epic and brutal stories from human history. Thank you for watching.